Talofa American Samoa, welcome to the Pacific Talk podcast, our self-advocate series. My name is Katrina Helsham, the Communications Manager at the Pacific Center in Human Security, and I'm joined here with Savanah Samaseia. Please, if you could just introduce a little bit about yourself and what organization, agency that you're representing.
Yes. Talofa lava o lo'u ingoa o Savanah Samaseia. I am 23 years old, and my family villages are from Samoa, and they are Vailua Nofoali'i, Vaimoso, Fasito'otai, and Vailele. I'm proudly here representing the Nafanua Foundation, where they bring girls, young tamaita Samoa, 18 to 26, and they bring them here to American Samoa to have service projects, to give back to the community, and work on the relationships with not just the community, but with families, and to experience the life here.
Wow, that's so great. I just got to know the foundation a little bit, and so you're currently one of the fellows, right? There's 5 of you?
There's 6, but only 5 came.
Oh, okay.
To American Samoa, yes.
Oh, all right. And so each of you have a specific platform that you guys are kind of representing and kind of drawing awareness to. So I know one was about mental health. There was another one about mother-daughter relationship, strengthening that. But your one, which was the reason why I was so drawn to your story and to your platform, because the Pacific Center in Human Security, it goes hand in hand a little bit. So if you don't mind going into a little bit about what your specific platform is with the Nafanua Fellows.
Yes, so the Nafanua Foundation has provided me an opportunity to work with families with Samoan families with disabilities or with members of disabilities, so specifically with autism. So I was able to have my project be the first one when we came here to American Samoa, and I worked with Leo Oainga, where I got to meet some of the parents of these children and present sensory toys to them and to give a presentation about sensory processing and why sensory toys are so important to have for their child's transitioning into big events or to help calm them. And I believe it was a very successful meeting, and I absolutely had a blast, and I loved hearing the parents' stories. And through that, I got to meet you, I got to meet Ipu, and just make so many new connections, and I'm so grateful to have had that opportunity.
Wow. Yeah, I know you were talking about just your project and with Ipu and just them talking about how excited they were about that. I was so sad that I missed it. But yeah, you were just talking to the parents and then you got their stories. Is there anything that you could share that really hit home with what they shared with you that day?
Yes. So I got to hear some of their backgrounds and their stories about their children and experiences here. There was one particular mother she has 2 autistic sons, but one of them also has ADHD, which is another reason why I chose to have this platform with disabilities, is because I myself, as a tamaita Samoa, I have disabilities. I have ADHD and learning disabilities. So to see her talk about it, and then after her and all the other families, I was able to get up and present, and right afterwards she pulled me aside and we had a moment. She just goes, "Thank you so much for coming, because when I see you, I saw my son," and it's getting me emotional a little bit right now. And she just shared that she became hopeful, that there was hope, and she could see what her son could grow to be, and to see that he could talk or he could be in front of a crowd, and just have that confidence within himself to be proud of himself. And so she just thanked me a lot for not just coming, but just to also be a visual representation of the disability of ADHD and the things that I have, and just to see me do my thing, and she's just like, oh, my son can do the exact same thing. He can be out there. He could be confident and grow and learn, and it's possible. So it was just really wonderful to inspire that.
Yeah, that sounds so special.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand a little bit too, because you grew up in the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I forget which particular area.
So originally I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California.
Mhm.
Then I moved to Hawaii for a few years, and then I'm now residing in Utah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you know, it's kind of like harder for families to see
Mm-hmm.
maybe over here, because the resources are not as what's the right way to say it, maybe there's not as much as available resources as maybe off island.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's great to show that the possibilities for someone in your situation, and for the parents to see we can get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you applied for this program, was this something that you knew right away that you wanted to be a platform for you?
When the program first launched, my mother came to me and she just goes, I really think you should join this program. Their goal is, at the end of the 12-week program, you can go to American Samoa and actually do your service project and actually complete it and serve the community. And I thought I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, maybe. And so I mainly first I signed up for her,
Yeah.
just to please my mom, and
That's normal for us back at home too. But go on.
like, whatever you say, mom, okay. And then I signed up, and there was different topics that our director of Nafanua, Saolo Beetham, had written out for us, and so one of the topics was disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, once I saw that, I go, yeah, I'll do that one.
Yeah.
It just stood out to me, and I go, yeah, I'll do disabilities. I go, well, I have a disability, so why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And then when we had to narrow it down to a specific disability, I chose autism. Mm-hmm. Because I have many family members who have autism. I also have a Hanai little sister, a family friend that I grew up with, and we helped raise her for a little bit, and she had autism as well. So I know firsthand the meltdowns, the tantrums, the highs and lows, the milestones, and it was such a blessing to have been able to be a part of her life and to help her grow. And now she's, I believe, 11 now, and she's thriving, and she loves the iPad, and she loves her shows, and she's talking, and she's just a wonderful little girl, and I love her so much. But I wanted to be an advocate for disability, especially in Samoan culture, because I have seen firsthand or even heard and interviewed my aunties who have children with autism, and they live in New Zealand and Australia, and they even said, they go, even out here, like, we don't have the resources, we don't have the education for it. And during their times of their children growing up, they go, we had no idea where to go. We didn't know where do we get a diagnosis? Okay, we got the diagnosis, then where do we go after? Who helps us?
Right.
And it was very, very sad to hear that, because I was very blessed with the opportunity to have had the resources, to have had the help, even though for my family and I, it was once we got my diagnosis, my family was like, oh, what now? And it easily could have gone the other way of my Samoan parents being like, oh, she's fine, nothing's wrong with her, she's just lacking in school, she just doesn't listen or do that. But they saw that there was a need for more assistance, more attention, and so I'm very thankful that they chose to listen, to accept the diagnosis, and to walk with me on the journey to trying to find the help that I needed in order to succeed. So what really truly, without my parents accepting and choosing to learn and to try to rework the way that they spoke to me or, interacted with me, I would not be here today at all.
Wow. Yeah, I can only imagine what it would be like to go through it alone. But of course, with parents being on board, that makes a difference and goes a long way. Yeah. So since we're starting to talk about family and all of that, and I was just wondering if you would like to share about just how it went for you and just navigating through childhood and getting to where you are today. And yeah, if you're okay to just share a little bit about that.
Yes. So a little background of my diagnosis. I was so in primary school or elementary school, growing up, it was very hard for me to keep up with my peers. I was failing my classes. I was really behind. I was horrible at testing, especially with numbers. And it wasn't until the 5th grade when my 5th grade teacher really pushed for my parents to get me tested and pushed the school district, be like, hey, like, she needs help. She's struggling a lot. Then once I got the diagnosis, and my family and I decided that, they would help me, and we would try to figure out the journey together. It was really hard. It was really hard for me as the child with the disability because I thought I was stupid. That, to put it very frank, I thought I was stupid. I thought, sorry, I'm getting emotional.
Oh, that's okay.
I remember I'd sit in class and I'd just look around at my peers and I'd be like, I don't know why I can't be like you. I don't know why I'm not smart enough to keep up with the classwork. I don't know why I keep getting these answers wrong. It was really hard. The doctor told my parents that I needed medication, right? I needed it. I needed it in order to live, to succeed, and to, do all this and that. And my dad he said no. It was a very firm no. He said, my daughter's not taking that medicine. I don't want her to be reliant on it and dependent on it. Because if you're taking the medicine and if you maybe miss a day or you don't take it, everything just gets out of whack. Right. And it's even harder to get back on track. So my dad goes, nope, she's fine. We don't need medicine. We'll figure it out. And so we did, even though it took many years, many trials and errors, and trying to figure out how to, I guess when I was younger, it was like trying to figure out how to be normal, how to be like everyone else. But I wasn't like anyone else. That was the thing. So growing up, as I was going throughout school and my peers, impulsivity was a huge thing for me. So being impulsive to speak, like just saying the first thing that comes to mind without any filter, and I just say it. And I would see the reactions from my peers or, people around me, whether it was a good or bad reaction. I learned that way of like, that's not the right thing to say, or I didn't mean it that way, but it came out that way. Right. And there was a lot of very humiliating and embarrassing moments of whether saying the wrong thing or doing something that I thought was not necessarily right, but I just thought was normal, and it wasn't normal. And I would just learn off of people's reactions, and I'd cry about it later if it wasn't the right one. Right. But then I was like, okay, I learned that that's not what you're doing, and so you have to do something else and figure it out along. And even my parents, it was a journey, because they had to. What my mother always taught me too was that our brains are wired differently than others, right? And so I really had to really shift my perspective as just like, oh, I'm not dumb, I'm not stupid, I just understand it differently. Right. So I just needed to be said in a way that I understood, and then all would be fine. And so I really had to, not just only my parents, it's me as a child learning to advocate for myself, learning to tell my teacher, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Can you explain it in another way? And or even saying it to my friends. It's kind of hard, when you're with your friends and you maybe you don't get the joke, or maybe it's, and then I always have to be like, like, can you explain to me why that was funny? Or can you explain to me why this was wrong? Or can you explain why you did it that way? Because for me, it doesn't make sense. And,
Right.
so it was really a lot. It wasn't until really I was in high school when I learned to do that.
Oh, okay.
It took years and years. And even now through my adulthood, I still struggle with communicating, but it's a lot better than it was before.
Wow. I mean, I sorry you went through that. I know, kids can be cruel, and things like that. And but I think that I think everyone's still trying to get it together when it comes to this realm of things. And what would you say that you think can help schools and young students help with students such as yourself that are trying to navigate, in school and stuff like that? What's something that you think can help?
Do you mean school in general or school here, like in American Samoa, or?
I guess in general, I wouldn't want to put you in because you never went through our school system here.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put you on the spot there. But what would you think would have helped you, for programs or maybe something with the teachers or students?
Unfortunately, I'm not a professional, but I can only give my opinion of what I've experienced because speaking to my aunties who are outside of the country, their experiences they differ a lot from mine. I was lucky to be able to have more resources and more people aware of disabilities. I think for the States, people are really good overall. We've come a long way as well, but I think from today's standpoint, like they know it's like, oh, if you have a disability, like they're a lot more strangers are willing to work with you, and it's not really a shameful thing. There are still families who feel that way too, but for me, in the education system, I was in special ed, and I think it was just mainly more of educating your children about how to interact with people with disabilities, I think was the main thing growing up. But it wasn't necessarily school, because my school had programs set up for kids like me, or kids with autism, or kids with Down syndrome, wherever it was. So each of us had a tailored, we called it an IEP. So we had like a tailored program and system that would work with us from the moment we were diagnosed and signed up for the program to all the way till we graduated high school. And so I think the main thing of just school was just other kids, it's just my peers. A lot of them didn't know, they didn't understand, like whether it was ADHD. Usually like with kids with autism, they would know right away, like, oh, you're autistic or you're Down syndrome. And so they would treat them a certain way, not necessarily bad, but just they would know how to interact and just be like, oh. Or sometimes they didn't know how to, or a lot of times they don't know how to interact with them, so they'd speak to them like little babies, even though they're teenagers. But it's not their fault because they don't know. They're not around it. Luckily, I was around it, and I had to learn, like, you just talk to them normally. They're not, there's some with very limited capabilities, but I'm like, they know, whether they can speak it or not, like they know everything that's going on. And so that was just, I guess, the main thing. School system wise, yeah, we had programs tailored to every individual with disabilities. So it was perfect for me. Helped me. I graduated high school. Yeah. So that was just, I think, the main thing was just the peers of trying to teach your kids, the next generation, of if you don't have a disability, maybe just to learn how to interact or treat kids with disabilities.
Right. I think that's awesome advice. I think just with a lot of topics, it's on the parents to make sure that their children are aware and know how to approach and all of that. Thank you for sharing on that. For your just speaking kind of on your platform and your experience, how would you like to let the audience that are listening in, what kind of advice do you have out there with approaching persons with disability, or yeah, if you could go ahead and take the floor there.
I believe for Samoans specifically, there's a certain type of culture or expectation or traditions that are always passed down, or even as a society, there's things that are acceptable and not acceptable. I believe that those with disabilities, whether it's autism or maybe Down syndrome or physical disabilities, whether you're missing a limb or so, you get treated a certain way. You get treated like you're beneath the rest of society who are able-bodied or able-minded. And there's this stigma here that I've learned too, even during the Leo Oainga group, where I listened to parents, and a lot of them just said, and here in society, a lot of people just look down on their kid. They look down on the family. They believe that it's a curse and not a blessing, and that God somehow punished them because they sinned or so. And it was really shocking for me to hear, because I guess because maybe I grew up in the States, but in the States, like, disability is treated very different than how it is here. It's, oh, if you have a disability, like, let's find you help. But here it's, oh, if you have a disability, hide in the house, don't come out. And listening to those parents' experiences, and they're scared to, for their child, and even maybe for themselves, a bit of being maybe outcasted. So I guess that's why I'm here, was to break that silence and that stigma, to give families, to let them know it's okay. And I guess my advice to peers, or maybe the families who are listening in, is to I guess just really listen. Don't listen to reply. Listen to whoever's in need, and to take action, and to know that it's not a curse, it's a blessing, and that there's many lessons to be learned through raising a child with disabilities, not just, or autism. There's different things you learn. I guess to listen, and to try to accept whatever diagnosis is there, and to really try to seek help, and just really advocate on their behalf, and to teach, really to just bring your child out. From my understanding of being here in American Samoa for the week that I've been here, and listening to those parents, was that just the people here are not educated. That you hide your kid, but when you hide your kid, you hide them from others, and others can't see how your kid moves, or can't see the disability, so they're not. And when you don't know something, how are you going to treat it? If you don't know, you don't know, and that's fine. But I think it's important for families to really advocate and be like, oh, this is my child's disability, this is what their capabilities are, but they can always grow, right? And this is how you're supposed to treat them, right? And that, to be proud, right. I guess, just to really, because maybe you're feeling one way, but it's another for the persons with disabilities. Like, imagine how they feel, right. They can't be, like, maybe they don't feel like everyone else. They feel left out, and nobody ever wants to feel left out. Nobody ever wants to feel alone. So I guess just really just listen, try to accept, and try to advocate, I guess, is the advice that I would give.
Wow, that's amazing. Just hearing that, you're really tugging on some heartstrings here. Thank you for sharing. I do want to not miss out on the opportunity to talk about just our local resources. And for Leo Ainga, they're under the Department of Public Health, and if you want to know more, they do have a call center, 219. I think is the best. We don't have a representative here. We did ask Ms. Ipu Eliapo to join us. She unfortunately had an urgent meeting that she needed to attend. But yeah, just speaking to our community, that there is Leo Ainga Health Information Center. They do have a Facebook page for you to look up and see what they're doing. And I see their last post was about your visit there. And then also, again, 219 is their call center for more information. But yeah, and then, of course, before we wrap up, was there anything else that you wanted to share about your platform again? Or I think you hit it all.
I hope I hit it all. I kind of went on a tangent just a little bit.
No, it was really great information.
Thank you. I guess I just wanted to say that I'm very blessed with this opportunity. Even to be here on the podcast and meeting, connecting with you has been such an amazing blessing. I hope since doing this Nafanua program and being able to come here and to work with Leo Ainga, and to see the parents, that stepped up and are trying to learn more about their child and about their disability, it really touched me, because it's not easy to go against what society tells you is normal and what's not. And to have parents, I remember when I went up there to present, I had this, I had it all worked out. I said, I'm going to present it this way. And then just to get in front of the parents and to see their faces, and a lot of them were fathers, fathers coming and really wanting to help their kids, and to see their faces of kind of just very attentive, and just to see them wanting to know more and just looking at me to just learn. I felt the pressure and realized, I know I'm not educated enough and I'm not a professional at it, but I really saw the need for the education and the help for these families, and to see them that they love their child so much that they chose to take action, to accept the diagnosis, and to really help them and to help their child succeed. So it was very touching to see that, and I was so proud of them all. And I'm so proud to be advocating to break the silence and the shame and the stigma of having a disability. And that's why I'm here, is just to help our Samoan people, to uplift them, to excuse me, to make sure with our Samoan people with disabilities, to help them to be proud of themselves, to help them grow and to learn, because every mind or every person that God sent here on earth are more than capable of growing and learning, and so I'm very proud to be to come here and to learn. And I really hope, I was kind of telling you at the brunch that one day that I want to come back here. I was like, maybe even move here and just really, really help the families here, because my American Samoa has my heart, and I love the families here. I love the community, and I hope to build the community and uplift it and grow as well. So I hope to be able to do that. I hope to connect American Samoa to some states' resources. Of course, I know people are like, how are you going to do that? Do you know people? I don't, but I myself want to take on the journey of learning, of trying to take action to educate myself on these topics, for not just autism, but for anyone with disabilities, and to connect them to the resources that we have in the States to here in American Samoa, because Samoans are absolutely wonderful. We're amazing people.
Yes.
And we deserve to have a society where we uplift each other instead of tear each other down. And right. So hopefully, it's not going to happen overnight. Let's just say that it takes time and effort and hard work and an extreme amount of patience. Mm-hmm. So I hope that, since I'm 23 now, I hope that as I grow for the rest of my life, that I'd be able to build these connections and relationships to help build families up and yeah, just to advocate on behalf of those with disabilities, or just to help them find their voice. So that's my goal, and I've been inspired by everyone here in American Samoa, and I'm so extremely happy that God provided a way for me to come and to experience, or not even to experience, to even hear these parents' experiences, and to just see what needs to be improved on.
Right.
So I'm very excited to work with you all again in the future.
Yes, and I can't tell you, like, just hearing you say that, and when you were talking about that, and where my mind was going, because I've been working here at the American Samoa Community College for a little over 10 years, and, you know, we just, we see a lot of students come through us, and then they graduate, and then they move on to the mainland to go get their bachelor's, their master's. Some of them go all the way up to their doctorate. And once they go out there, we're competing against what life is out there, versus, you know, what do they have to come home to with salary-wise and limited opportunities. And yeah, so I just hearing what you were talking about, and kind of like hearing what the Nafanua Foundation is doing and bringing you young girls over here, I'm seeing, you know, that opportunity for you guys that are growing up out there, coming home and seeing our needs, seeing the gaps, and just hearing you being inspired to come back and help, you know. I think maybe that's the way to bring to bring our people back home, and just you know, to help in these areas, you know. And don't get me wrong, there are things here that we could do better, you know, for our people. And that's just my opinion. Please do not take my opinion as a stance by the American Samoa Community College, or by the Pacific Center in Human Security. I'm just saying it's something that I've seen, and well, what I've witnessed, and there are a lot of hardworking individuals that have come home to work with what we got, and God bless you. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being on our podcast, and yeah, just for our audience, thank you for listening to Savanah's story. I'll just let her take the time to talk about the Nafanua Foundation one last time, where you can find out more information, see all the great stuff that they're doing, even online. I'm feeling the pressure. I need to get on their level with their media presence, but go on.
Yes, so the Nafanua, if you want to learn more about what the Nafanua Foundation stands for, you can also check us out on Facebook or Instagram, and you can also look us up at nafanuafoundation.org. It's a nonprofit. This actually is the first year they've launched the Nafanua program, leadership program. And this was sort of a pilot program. And it's just us 6 girls that started. It's a very small group. But I have created connections and friendships that will last a lifetime. I absolutely love these girls. Our leader, Saola Betham, she's absolutely fantastic, phenomenal. And it's a 12-week program where they take tamaitai, or daughters of the diaspora, and they teach them about Samoan culture and what it means to serve, and to really empower us to be the women of Samoa, to know our roots, and to be empowered that even though we may not have grown up in the islands, or maybe not know the language or something, that, you know, we'll always be Samoan, and that we, even choosing the topics of service, that's, I believe, one of the most number one things to be a Samoan is to serve, right? Serve God, serve your ainga, serve your community. And so the Nafanua Foundation, or Nafanua Leadership Program, it's an opportunity to bring the daughters of Samoa home, to bring the tamaitai back, and I have been blessed. Trust me, there was times where I'm like, oh, I don't even know if we're gonna make it.
Wow.
I was like, I don't, and because it's a pilot program, right? There's lots of gaps, and there's, but we have overcome the trials that, there's things that doesn't happen last minute, or maybe things that do. And, even all of us together, like the leadership and us fellows, like the girls, we've all had to figure out how to work together and to really overcome the obstacles that were in our way. And when it was finally like at 12 weeks when we realized that, because I wasn't even supposed to come.
Wow.
That was the thing, because we paid our way to come. It was me and another girl, Rena. We were like, oh, I don't think we can make it.
Oh, no.
Like, I don't think we can make it. I don't think we can complete our service projects. But thankfully, God provided a way.
Yes.
He knew we needed to be here, and we got our tickets, and we're all able to come together and just experiencing American Samoa for the first time, and to see our people here, and to be back at home, and to just, like you said, see the gaps. And immediately, like, all of us girls are like, man, we see the gaps, but we can create the bridges. Like, this leadership program has taught us how to become leaders in our Samoan communities, to learn how to create a bridge, to learn how to connect our people, from the States to here on the islands. And so even every day we're always like, oh, we can improve on that. Oh, we can bridge that gap. And it's been really fun, and we absolutely love it here. And the Nafanua Leadership Program has just not only brought us women together, but has brought us back home. And now we've seen home, and we have been inspired, and now we're determined to bring more sons and daughters back here to American Samoa. So hopefully, I always tell, social media, even we've gotten thousands and thousands of views on our reels, and now that we're uploading content, there's a lot of Tamaitai Samoa who are DMing us, who are inquiring about, hey, what's this program like?
Wow.
How are you guys back here? Is it, what is it? And for everyone who's listening now, I recommend to tell your daughters, to tell your cousin, to tell your sister. It's ages 18 to 26. So if they're living there in the States right now, send them to the Nafanua Leadership Program. And right now it's in Salt Lake, I believe, or in Utah right now. So if you know anybody in Utah, send them our way, and we'd love to work with them and to help build that connection. And so I've been very blessed to be here.
Right.
And so even we have, I believe, like 1 more week left here. I've learned so much within the week, and I see so many ways to improve and uplift our communities. And so that's why I'm like, as soon as when we met that day at the brunch, I was like, I'm coming back here. I said, maybe I'll even move here. Yeah. Like, that's how much I love this island so much. I love the people here. I love being connected to my roots. I love learning about my ngafa and to serve our people here, and to just feel all the mana and the love, and I just see how much we can improve, and so I hope to uplift our people, our society, and I hope that I'll come back sooner rather than later. I've already told my family. I told my brother, he came here and he was living in Tutuila for a little bit, and he's just like, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna move here, and he goes, do it, just stay there, don't come back home. Just stay.
We would love to have you. And you can be a regular. Maybe you can be one of our main hosts.
I'd love to. It would be so fun. So that's why I'm so excited to have been connected with you, and to Ipu and Leo Ainga, and I really hope that for future endeavors that we'll be able to work together to build something beautiful, and to bring it back and build it and set it out into society, and to just really all connect us all back together again.
Yeah.
So again, sorry, I'm gonna plug it back in. If you guys want to know more about Nafanua Leadership Program, Nafanua Foundation.org.
That's great. And they're on social media as well.
Yes, social media, Facebook and Instagram. We have the Nafanua Foundation, and then we also have the Nafanua Fellows if you want to take a look at the girls and see our projects. Right now, my project's the only one that's posted, and then today we actually have another girls project about mental health, and so stay tuned for that. We have the other girls' projects coming up this upcoming week, so
That's great.
they're gonna do that, post that, so come join us. If you see a flyer for the Nafanua Fellows or Foundation, we'd love to have you, and everyone's welcome.
Wow. Okay, great. Thank you again so much for just sharing about the Nafanua Foundation, about your project here, and also even your personal story. That means so much. And then for all our audience listening out, thank you for tuning in. Again, you can look up more information about the Pacific Center in Human Security on our website, pchs.amsamoa.edu. You can also follow us on our Facebook, Pacific Center in Human Security. And again, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time with another self-advocate on our self-advocate series. Or also check out our Who's Caring series that we just started up as well. Thank you again, and that's all from us.
Outside Telelava.
Yes.